Welcome to Living a Graceful Life. I'm Denise Medved, your host, and I'm also the creator and founder of the Ageless Grace Brain Health Program, which is taught in 50 US states and 31 other countries. And it is specifically for brain health through body movement, which then addresses our body, mind, spirit, and emotions. So the purpose of this show is to remind you all that it's never too late to begin to make choices to create the life that you want to live. And for that very reason, that is why we have guests who have stories to tell about how they have invited more grace into their own lives and how it's made a difference in a positive way for them to invite more grace in, and how they've done that so that you can take those tips and advice and experience from our guests into your own life if you choose to do so and make some positive choices for yourself. So I'm really pleased to have Tracey Gelb on the show, and the topic that she's going to be talking about, which sounds very intriguing, is my secret to healing so you can live, so you can follow your dreams. My secret to healing so you can follow your dreams. So I know that we all want secrets to healing because there are all kinds of healings, obviously. There's physical healing from trauma or injury or pain or diagnoses. There's emotional healing, there's mental healing, and there's spiritual healing. We are an ultra dimensional human being. And so we have a lot of parts of us that can be wounded or damaged or restored or made healthy again. So Tracey, welcome to Living a Graceful Life.
Thank you so much, Denise. Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. And so I'm going to start just, saying a little bit about myself. My name is Tracey Gelb, and I am an Ageless Grace educator. I've been doing that for 6 years, and I do it. I can hear the echo with my mom. I don't know if that matters, but okay. If she maybe turn, nobody can hear. Okay, sorry about that.
Okay.
But I've been teaching for 6 years, and I feel so grateful to be teaching these classes. I teach 17 classes a week. I do all kinds of different places, senior assisted livings, memory care, some spas, and I also do a community center. And that's a place where my mom and I both do a cancer support group every Saturday with our Ageless Grace students. So I have, I've always been a person that wanted to help, but I feel that now is a time in my life that I'm able to be on this journey and do this.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's so impressive, first of all, that you teach 17 classes a week. It's just mind-boggling and wonderful. And you have so many students who just love and adore you. I know that firsthand. And some of them are watching this episode, I know. And some will be watching it later on when it's recorded. So one of the things I'd love to hear about is what you studied in school, what your degree is in. And I'd love for you to brag just a little bit about an award that you won a couple years ago.
Okay, thank you. I studied initially my associates in child psychology and then switched to restaurant and hotel management for my bachelor's, and was in the restaurant bar industry for many years. I then, teaching Ageless Grace, I was so honored. I was Instructor of the Year in 2019 for SilverSneakers. So that's a all over the world honor. And I got to have a party with my students, and they complimentary from SilverSneakers and take pictures. And they did a big, like a celebration, thing and award. So it was wonderful. And I feel, it's kind of full circle because I used to work at a daycare center. And my two best friends and I used to babysit all the time. And then, now I'm working with seniors. I love both. I truly love both. And, teaching Ageless Grace has been life-changing and really kind of life-saving for me, because the restaurant and bar industry is kind of what's very harsh And it's not a lot of, loving kindness, which is what I have every day, all day now with, it's just wonderful. I feel grateful and fortunate. And this has been such a healing, I don't even want to call it job. And I said that in my class the other day, because I did a Labor Day class and I said, I'm here. And they say, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I love what I do. I really do. And I mean that. And it's such a blessing, and it's going to be something. And I even tell, as my future progresses, which is my plan to, to do speaking and different engagements. And I'm always going to have this wonderful, I plan on teaching. I'm still going to tell them that, but I want to go into a kind of a modality of motivational speaking and hoping to do my own TEDx talk and do some things, to help a little further to help more people.
Absolutely. Well, you have such a big heart for helping people. And I see that right away, not only in you, but in when I hear your students talk about you or see some of your students on the show, they just have nothing but glowing praise for you and how you've helped them in their lives. That's one of the things I'd love to talk to you about. You talk about my secret to healing, and you have mentioned to me before that you have a whole list of techniques that you use for fear, stress, apprehension, anxiety, whatever it might be. And we all have all of those things, even those of us who may not want to admit it. It's true. So what are some of the things that you do to help heal that?
One of the things, I know it's going to sound funny, but it's been life-changing for me, is every day in my car. And I listen to motivational videos from Oprah Winfrey to Steve Harvey to Will Smith, you name it. I just put motivational in there. I listen to it. I drive a lot, and I listen to it. I listen to TEDx talks, and I listen to, it fills my brain with nutrition. I do a lot of, I'll be honest with you, I tried a little bit of meditation to try that route. It didn't exactly work for me. I've also been doing some yoga, but I think the healing for me, I have such a different communication and relationship with the people close to me, with my mother, with my closest friends, being able to talk more openly about things. I do a lot of I love to go downstairs and ground and put my feet in the grass. It's, I do something called a Healy, which is very healing, like the name. Essential oils, I had to move them to get them out of the screen. I have 100 sitting behind me. And you talk about healing, and I mean it. It is, I have an oil. When they say there's an oil for everything, I have an oil for everything. My mom and I both do. And I use that when I'm a little stressed. I do the lavender and some different ones for hormones. My hormones have been a little crazy lately, so it's good to have, that kind of thing. I talk to my friends often, and I just, this has really been a journey for me, because I've had some trauma happen in my life, some pretty serious trauma. I got in some trouble, and everything, thank the Lord, is fixed now, but it was very, very traumatic. Also lost my sister, and that was worse than absolutely anything that could have happened. And it kind of put me in a tailspin where wasn't really sure how I was going to recover. And at the time I had just started teaching Ageless Grace. I had a person kind enough to cover it for me, my classes. And, I'm in a place now, it's been 5.5 years since we lost her. And I can say truthfully, for the first time in many years, and many years before losing her, that I'm the healthiest mentally and physically that I've been in. I don't know, don't want to say ever, but in a very long time. And, teaching these classes and doing things that are good for my soul, really, I'm telling you, I was with a woman today trying to help her. She does have cancer. I was with her caretaker, coming to solutions to what we can do to help her, her life be better and more comfortable, and, healing and being with these people, especially the cancer support group. It's healing me. It's really showing me that whatever you think is going on, it's not that serious. It really isn't. And if you can just, make the best of the day that you have. And I heard something, and it said, somebody said, some people have their glasses half empty and some is half full. And I'm just happy I have a glass. And if you look at it like that, right? How can you go wrong?
That's exactly true. I love that. That's beautiful. I've heard the half full and the half empty, but that's a great thing. How grateful
Just
to have a glass.
happy to have a glass. And
Absolutely.
I also, I do 3 gratitudes every morning with my mom. Sometimes we do more, depending on, but the best thing to do in the day to start the day is just think of what you're grateful for, who you're grateful for. And it really changes things around, even if sometimes, sleep, healing, sleep is everything. I would go through nights after my sister passed where I wouldn't sleep for 4 or 5 days in a row, which is soul destroying. And I would like almost hallucinate and then be very angry and sad. So I do a routine now with my sleep where I do some tea at night and some special, they're all, usually doTERRA supplements just to help me calm down. And, now I've been doing a fantastic food program with my best friend. We're doing no carbs and no sugar. And so I feel amazing. I feel so fortunate, to be doing this with her. And I think this has all been healing, all of it put together. Like if I could have a recipe for it, this, to help people, this would be what it is.
Well, that makes such sense because as we said at the beginning of the show, we are multidimensional beings. And so we have a body, a mind, a spirit, emotions, and all of those things need to be taken care of, because if one is out of balance, then the whole body and the whole person feels out of balance. So it sounds like you're doing some amazing and wonderful things to really help yourself find a true balance and a true happiness. One of the things I know about you, and you mentioned it tonight, is that you're doing something that you love. And of course, for anyone listening, it doesn't have to be doing exactly what Tracey is doing, but as long as you're doing something that you love and care about and feel inspired about, it makes a huge difference in the way you wake up every morning, the way you go to sleep. All of those things are very important. The way you eat, the way you sleep. And of course, you know this, Tracey, that when you eat correctly, when you exercise and move a lot, then it helps your sleep pattern. It's some people say, oh, but I can't sleep, so I don't feel like exercising, or I can't sleep, so I get up in the night and eat. Well, that's two of the worst things you could do, because the eating and the way you eat and the way you sleep and the way you prepare yourself for sleep is exactly what allows your body to be able to have a better sleep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's something that you said, and I listened to one of your shows and you talked about your routine when you go to sleep. So I try to emulate it, because it sounded like, you tell your brain knows when you have the tea and you do these things that it's sleep time. And, I'm trying to put all the pieces together to just have a good life. I mean, that's the bottom line. Like I watch these TEDx talks and some of them just are so simple. And it says, do you want to be happy? You ask people, everybody, do you want to be happy? Well, of course, of course. And that's all I want. And I want the people I love to be happy and the people around me and to be healthy. And that's truly, like, I really have come to a lot of decisions, which is kind of ironic how the show happened today, because I am planning I want to start a program to help people with eating disorders and to help them get in a good place with their food. I was bulimic for many years. So, I understand, and I've also done overeating, starved myself, all, the whole gambit. And I feel now for the first time in my life, truly, that I'm having a decent, healthy relationship with food. And I feel amazing about it. And I understand that there are going to be days that some things happen and I have too much salt, too much, or too much popcorn, or too much, too many things. But I know that the blessing now, as opposed to before, where I would just go down this rabbit hole of, oh, well, I've already done it, may as well just get a pizza and a key lime pie. I'm like, absolutely not. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to have, I do intermittent fasting. I don't eat before 2 and my window closes at around 7:30. And now I'm really sticking to it. My window was getting longer and longer and more snacky at night. And it was all keto approved snacks. But, when you're having 6 of them at 10 p.m., it's not doing, and I know subconsciously and I know inherently what to do, but sometimes we eat emotionally.
Yes.
Well, I eat emotionally, and I know that I've done that for many, many years. So now, as opposed to me like being like, oh, I'm gonna go get that, block of cheese and nuts at 10 or 11, I'm like, Tracey, that ain't gonna happen. You're going to bed. I don't care how hungry I am, I'm going to bed. And I have my glass of water, put some oil in there, kind of fantasize that it's something else, just something more tasty, chocolate milk or whatever. And I do it. I'm telling you, I am determined. I am determined. I am the most determined I've ever been, because I know how hard it is to have a bad relationship with food. And I want to be out there, helping people as much as I can. And I feel that I've kind of found my calling,
Oh, I
my
think you
future.
have in so many ways. You're calling to speak, to help people by sharing your journey like you have on this episode. You've overcome a lot of challenges and you've been very
Thanks.
successful so far at your nutritional plan. And I applaud that. That's
Thank you.
really excellent. Um, and I would love to have you tell people a little bit about this cancer support group that you have started. It's fascinating how doing something you love has opened up into another place. I would love for you to
Sure.
share that with everyone.
So I teach an Ageless Grace class at a community center twice a week, Saturdays and Mondays. I get anywhere from 18 to 35 people in the class. It is pure joy. We laugh, we sing, we do funny faces, we find things like treasures together, and it's just, and I've become close to a couple of them, very, very close. One day I did a cancer support, I do themes, and it was about cancer awareness was the day. And a bunch of people just started raising their hands. 3 of them I know very well, and we would stay and talk amongst ourselves. And more people started joining in the after the class. So I thought about it, and my mom is extremely experienced in different nutritional information regarding people with cancer and everything from Parkinson's, but she actually works with people with cancer and works at a place where she teaches classes for people. So I thought, wouldn't it be great to bring my mom in, do it where they can get some great nutritional information, talk about toxicity, talk about emotions and all of those things. And the group now, like it started, I think the first day we had like maybe 8, and now this last group we had 14. And yeah, and we had a speaker come and talk about food and nutrition. She does the macro food and show us graphs of different things. And the support that's happening with the women, they're like exchanging numbers. 2 of them are going to a cherry yoga class tomorrow together, just seeing them and knowing the support that they need is incredible. And I started at my Ageless Grace class, and it's so much fun. My mom comes with me on a Saturday and she does a couple tools. So she's kind of like a celebrity. She does like dance moves with them and fun things. And it's nice to have something different. And she is, different than I am. And it's always good for the brain to have different things. So, I feel the cancer support group has, I'm learning so much about food, what they need to eat, no sugar and different things. And I find it so interesting. All the different, and it really kind of ties into everything that I want to do now. And I really, a lot of times people with food issues, it manifests in, they're things that manifest, can be mental, but it can also be from different things that we eat. So what a joy. I would be over the moon, if I could help these beautiful women with that are suffering and struggling, and help them eat better and have I already feel like the Ageless Grace is so fun for them, and just to have this other component, and I love doing it. I love it. It's been such a true blessing. It's been amazing.
I feel like those listening can really benefit from the very example that you set by doing what you love. And by doing what you love, you got to know people well enough to social interaction, to be able to understand what some of their needs are or what you have in common with them. And then you took action. And I think that's an important part, that so many of us have good ideas. We all do. We all have good ideas. We all think things like, oh, I should do that, or wouldn't it be good if there was one of these, or why don't we start one of those, or somebody should do this. Except you have taken action and you have made it happen, not only by expanding your classes that you teach, but also by creating this program, because you discovered that there were these women who had a need that you were familiar with and that your mom could help with. And now you're talking about another experience of yours, which is food relationship. And
Yes.
that is a powerful thing. I know, I don't know the percentage, but I know that there's a huge percentage of people, not just in America, but all over the world, that have some kind of poor relationship with food, or with drink, with something that they
Right.
ingest. And
Right.
so it's really important, I think, for people who have been on this journey, who are on this journey, who have overcome things, who've accomplished things for themselves and made changes in their lives, to be able to share, because that's very relatable for most people. Sometimes not as often as you, but sometimes I watch podcasts or listen to something, and sometimes they're on nutrition or exercise. And lots of times the people talking to me have great knowledge, but they don't have personal experience. And I really applaud you for taking
Thank you.
your personal experience and being willing to share it, and being willing to actually put something into action that can, you said it yourself, that it will help heal others, but maybe just as important, maybe more importantly, it also is healing for you at the same time that you're putting that
Yeah.
into action.
Yes.
I really admire.
Absolutely. 100%. I mean, I realize, my journey with the food has brought me on many different paths that were not healthy, and many different things. And I think now, I can go to the pool with my friend and wear a bathing suit, and it's something I haven't done. I can't tell you how many years, and take pictures with my friends again, where I'm not like hiding underneath a thing, and I just am feeling better. And as the time goes, I'm just feeling better. I feel, I'm really healing. I'm just feeling so much better, and feeling that I've had such a strange relationship with food for so many years, and really understanding it now, and like kind of accepting it, because there's a lot of denial, and there's a lot of like, I joke around with my friend and my mom and say, it's not rocket science. On Survivor, they go on there for 39 days and they don't eat and they lose 30 pounds. Listen, I can tell myself anything I want. Yes, thank goodness we're on the journey we're on, but I know what I need to do to tweak it, and I know what direction I have to go in order for me to truly help the people that I want to help. I need to live the true life, and really, be authentic, and just say, when we started, we were up in the 190s, and now we're in the 140s, or what I'm saying? Because now we're getting there. It's just a journey, it's a process, and we just have to be careful when we do have that slippery moment, that we just don't slide all the way down.
That's exactly right. One thing that you are doing that I'd like to point out to our viewers is that you are working with a buddy.
Yes.
You have a friend that you're doing this with, and you
Yes.
support each other. You told me earlier, you're very honest with each other.
We are.
That
We are.
and I think that is how critical do you think that has been to
It's
your
the key.
success?
It's been the key. And she's agreeing. It's the key to, I've tried this on my own for 30 years, 20 years. And this is the first time that not only have I stuck to it, because I tell my mom, if I eat this, I have to tell her what I ate. And I do tell her. So, and we are really good about it. I mean, we tell each other, you know, and it's so funny, strange that on the same weekend, last week, we both had a little, you know, downward slide, but we got right back up, and that's what we did. We both agreed on the day after that we were both getting back and doing our thing. And, you know, and then she reached out to me and told me she'd lost 3 pounds right away. And that's what happens. And it's such a good feeling to know that she's, you know, we have each other. The support, I think, is everything. And that's something I'm going to really strongly recommend when I move further down, you know, with this plan, with my future of starting some programs to help people with, you know, eating disorders, as well as just learning more about food and you know, your connection to your emotions and to your trauma and everything. When it comes to food, it's so deep and it's so crazy. And I just, you know, I know there's certain things that are working for me that I would love to share. One of them is definitely the buddy system is amazing, you know, and it's something that I highly recommend for anyone that's gonna start a food plan. Get a friend to do it with you, and that way you guys are accountable. You know, there's, you know, no monkey business, and that is something. And you know, my friend that I'm doing it with recommended when I start my program of wellness and healing and food, you know, substance food abuse. And I don't love the word addiction, so I'm trying to find like eating disorder or something. But she was the one that told me, get a buddy like we do. Tell them to get a buddy, because that has been a huge secret to our success.
Yeah. Oh, I can hear that. And I love actually that you've been saying my relationship with food, because I think that's powerful. You know, it doesn't say abuse, it doesn't say addiction, it doesn't say
Yeah.
deprivation,
Right.
it doesn't even say diet. It just says, what is my relationship with food? And I think that's, to me, sounds very powerful,
Yeah.
because again, I think most of us have some sort of what would the word be, an interesting relationship with food, whatever that is, whether it's something that we go to, you know, when we're emotional, or is something that we remember, that I don't know, something we did with our dad, something we used to do with our friends, something.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's not always healthy, it's just what we feel like going to when we're in certain situations.
Yes.
Tracey, I thank you so much for sharing this on such a personal level.
Thank you.
It's as I said, many people give wonderful knowledge and facts and advice, but when you can say that, you know, you're doing this yourself, and you have been doing it, and you've been through the things that were not successful, and so now you know what works for you and why it works. And to just see your face glowing and happy and your eyes sparkling, that's something, like you said, who doesn't want to be happy, right? And
the topic was about dreams, and I just want to say this before the time is up. This is my dream, and it's talking about following your dreams and healing. And I found my dream through all of these situations. So I'm so excited to do this.
Yes, and being able to share what you've learned. I mean, what a fulfilling dream is that nothing could be better than that, right? I sort of think sometimes that the way historically good information and good things has passed on has been through an older person or a more experienced person who's willing to share what they know, and then others hear it, listen to it, and are inspired by it. And want to emulate that and have that for themselves. So I definitely thank you for your sharing your story and for inspiring us all. Would you like to share with people what classes you have on Zoom, or any events that you would?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I teach, I teach a complimentary class every Sunday on Zoom. My mom and I do. It's Ageless Grace, and it is at noon on Eastern time. We do a class with a small fee on Wednesdays as well on Zoom. And then I teach many live classes, and I'm on the SilverSneakers and Ageless Grace. My classes are, you know, so you can always, you know, email me or you know, to go to any classes.
That's what I was going to say. Why don't you share with us your email address now?
Oh, it is, sure, absolutely. It is my name, Tracey, with an E, Tracey, Gelb, my last name, Gelb as in boy, @hotmail.com. And then you can always email me and love you to join the classes.
Yes, and find out about her free and minimal charge classes. Tracey Gelb, TRACEYGELB, at Hotmail, not Gmail, hotmail.com. So remember that. Tracey's pretty hot. So there you go. Remember it that way.
Thank
So
you,
I
Denise.
thank you so much for being here, all of you.
Oh,
And
thank you for having me.
I would just like to say again, I want to remind you that the purpose of this show, and I think we've fulfilled it in this episode, is to remind you that it's never too late to make choices to create the life that you want to live. Thank you.
Thank you so much.